All right, looks like we're recording. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Sunil Bhaskaran, and I have the wonderful, extraordinary Bill Ballou here to present for us. Give him an opportunity to introduce himself in a couple of seconds here. But today's topic is which is best, paid versus organic search, and Bill will explain that in terms of how that could make a huge difference in your business and your blogging or your authorship if you're an author and you have a website, which would get you the largest number of audience and or the best kind of audience, which is best, organic versus paid. And let's see here, just a little bit about me, and then I'll hand off to Bill. Bill and I work together to create a program called the VIP 1-Year Academy. It's intended for small business entrepreneurs and professionals like you who are out to expanding your reach in terms of your audience and your engagement of your audience. In other words, how many people are going to buy your product or your service from your website. Myself personally, I've been coaching and mentoring businesses now since 1991. And I've done lots of stuff with entrepreneurs, literally probably thousands of entrepreneurs by now. I'm an author of 2 books, and they're both on Amazon. One is called More Money, More Time, Less Stress. And I've spoken to large groups of audiences. Bill and I combined, we have about probably way more than 16,000 people on our Meetup membership.
16,906.
Fantastic. Bill is really up to date on that every day. And we've got a combined networking Rolodex of about 22,000, probably way more than that too by now. It grows literally every day. And Bill and I want to share this with you in a year-long program. And today, Bill's going to share with you what makes a difference, content marketing. How can you structure that so it makes sense? He's going to compare paid advertising versus unpaid or organic search and or organic content marketing, how that works. And so without much further ado, I hand it off to you, Bill.
Okay.
And I'm going to hand off Vicky, the host, as well. Give me 1 second here.
So while you're doing that, it occurred to me that not everybody knows who we are. So Sunil he introduced himself, and I always think that people know who we are. That's why they're here. But just in case, so I've been blogging for about 10 years, and I became a professional blogger. And by that I mean just by sitting here at my computer, hitting my keyboard, I'm able to pay the bills here in Silicon Valley, and it became our primary source of income. And we did that for a really, I still do that. The phone still rings. And so it's that independent lifestyle that I crave. Crave's not the right word. That I enjoy. That's fun for me.
Right.
It's Friday here in the Bay Area. Day after tomorrow, 8:20 p.m. or something like that. My wife and daughter and I are flying out of San Francisco Airport. We're going to Rome. We're going to fly into Rome. We're going to spend 2.5 days in Rome. Then we're going to get on a ship in Civitavecchia. We're going to cruise from Rome to Florence to Cannes, France. I don't know if they'll let us in. I'm really feel for the French people right now. And then we're stopping in some island in the middle of the Mediterranean, Barcelona. We'll fly into London and then come home. And so we'll be gone about 8 days. But while I'm gone during those 8 days, my websites will not miss a beat. They'll still generate traffic, the form will still perform, the email box will still fill up. And ever since I've been able to get online, I've been online since 1982 or 84 or something like that. I don't think I've ever been offline since 1984. So this is going to be my first, honest to goodness, serious attempt to go completely dark for about 8 days. I'm not going to take my computer with me. I'll have my cell phone with me, of course, because I need to call Uber when I get to London Airport. And the only 2 people who have my phone number are my 2 sons who might need to get in touch with me. Nobody else. Everybody else can wait till I get back. So where I'm headed here is and so I've been blogging long enough that now people say, well, gee, Bill, how do you do that? You know, how do you make that happen? I'm still getting over jet lag, reverse jet lag. I just got back from Shanghai less than 2 days ago, and where I spent a week doing corporate training, teaching L'Oreal, the makeup people. They see what they did with me? No, that didn't work. I taught L'Oreal, the French people. One of my students' colleagues was killed in the French attack, so it got really personal for us there for a while. And then I had the Dannon yogurt, the Dannon people. I had Texas Instrument, and then a couple other corporations that are, super well known, but they're very big in China. And I also taught it that I just on a whim reached out to a university there, Jiaotong Daxue, Jiaotong University, and they said, yeah, we would love to have you conduct an all-day seminar for me. We looked it up after the fact. Turned out it's one of the top 10. My wife, who's made in China, immediately knew who they were. So, and that's why I just got back from doing that sort of thing, and they found me. I'm sitting here minding my own business. Ping, little email pops up and said, "Would you come do this for us?" So who I would like to direct this webinar for, or if your phone rings enough, then you can just go ahead and leave, because you really don't need to do anything. If the phone's ringing, then why are you here? If your email box is filling up enough, then you really don't need to be here. And if you can step away from your work for next 8 or 9 days or so, and it won't miss a beat, it'll actually continue not just to sustain but to perform while you're gone. Then if everything's fine, then you're not in the right place. If it's not fine and things could be better, then hopefully I can answer some questions for you. About 6 hours before I left for Shanghai, I don't know when it was, a week or Thursday or something ago. About 6 hours before I left, there I was, trying to pack everything up and get ready to close my computer. Email pops up. There's a construction engineers and architects group. They said, "Bill, we heard you speak. We would love to have you come and conduct training for our local organization. So May 15th, I'm going up to San Francisco, and there are going to be 50 to 90 people, 50 to 90 construction companies. And get this, they're going to pay me to come talk to them about hiring me for what I can do for them." I'm not dumbfounded. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's the whole idea behind our influential person series. Everybody looks for that person of influence. Who is that person of influence? Who can I get to hold up my widget and tell people this widget's cool? Well, see, I do not do that. I'm not going to sit around and look for people to hold up my widget. What I want to be the person who's asked to hold up the widget. And that is what the heart of our training is, to teach you how to be that person of influence. You don't want to be the person who's looking. You want to be the person who's looked for. So at the heart of what I want to talk about today is, what's the best way to get in front of people really quickly, right? What's the best way to get in front of people really quickly? So I'm going to do a screen share. I hope this works. We love it when technology works. Boy, do we get mad when it doesn't.
It's working, Bill.
All right, so you can see this thing called Dental High Five. All right, that's we'll come back to that in a moment. So what I want to talk about is paid search versus organic search. Now I'm an organic search dude from way back. I used to, and I'm going to have to eat my words here. I used to badmouth paid search, and I still do sometimes. But I'm going to have to be more careful because I met some nice.
Hey, Bill. Yep. I think a lot of people are probably unclear of the difference between paid and organic search.
Oh, I'm headed there. Okay. Thank you for that, but that's a good point. So I'm headed there. And so I'll define the organic search is when I sit around here and mind my own business eating peanut butter cookies and my phone rings. That's or my email. Oh, here's an email. I didn't do nothing. I'm just kind of sitting here. Look at that. Something happened. It happened organically. It happens naturally. Of course, I built my website. I created good content, and that's beyond the scope here. Now, I have a website that I worked very diligently on that now performs for me. And by performance means the email box rings. The email box rings and the phone fills up, something like that. So the organic is when it happens all by itself. Paid is when you pay somebody to come to your website. You put out enough money, I mean, there are any number of ways to do paid, to be paid. You pay people to find you, effectively. So I live here in the Bay Area, where I don't know where you all are. You can just think of the main drag. In Cincinnati, it's I-75. I'm from Cincinnati. And here in California, up and down the coast, it's I-5. Here in the Bay Area, it's 101. What's the main drag? You can pay somebody to put a billboard on the side of the road. And so you paid, somebody saw it, oh, there you are. And then we try to remember, come and get you. So that's paid results. So you can pay to be found in the search engines. You can we get on Facebook, right? We get on Facebook and away we go. Oh, look at this, an advertisement. That looks interesting. Click. Somebody had to pay to put that advertisement there. Right? Or you're on Google search. Search. Oh, look at that. Oh, I was trying to buy a cruise ticket yesterday. Now everywhere I go, there are cruise advertisements. Yeah, see that? Somebody's paid to do that. So while you're searching, somebody has paid to be in front of you. Twitter has it, Facebook has it, LinkedIn has it. They all have that. That's what I mean by paid search. Somebody paid to be in front of you. Organic is when I've created something I think of value that people have come looking for. So they're different animals all together. So I want to make a note here so I don't forget. So I want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each from my perspective. So do we want to pay people to find us, or do we want to create something organically so that people will find us? Now here's a fundamental philosophical approach. Do you want to find people, or do you want to be found? When you're paying for something, you're paying to find people, or you're paying to be in front of people so that people can find you. When you're paying when you try to be found, when you build something online, it's not a push proposition. So when you're paying, people are engaged in whatever they're engaged in, and you're trying to grab them for 8 seconds, that 8-second attention span, and hope it catches on. And whereas in the pull proposition, people have searched you out, they've come to you because they want to be, because you have what they were looking for. Now, both of them will work. I'm going to show you I'll show you a case study here that they both will work. But there are advantages and disadvantages to each. And so I've partnered up with these guys, and I hope none of my organic friends are watching this. They'll think, Bill's gone off the deep end. The guy's nuts. I mean, he's been bad-mouthing paid for so long. What's he doing talking to paid people? But now I've met these guys, and what's struck me is dumbfounding. They opened up their dashboard. Let me see what happened. And so here's I'll scroll down kind of slowly, and if you can't read that fast, that's okay. Just watch the recording. The point is not to get everything on the screen here, but to watch the recording or just grab the case study up here. And so this is a service industry. They actually were working with dentists. We took the names off, and we have to take names off of our clients because people call our clients up instead of us, and then they bother the client. My client stops saying, "Stop giving my name out." So so if you're not a dentist, think of what kind of a service industry are you in, okay? And so these dentist people came to there. They got a $5,000, so $1,700 a month for 3 months, and they were given some objectives to be met during that 3-month period. They want 30 to 40 calls a month. They want to increase their leads to they want to get more up to 60 leads, and then ROI and so on and so on, and get website traffic. Then off they went. And you can read. Take a look at that later. So here we want 30 to 40 calls a month and 60 leads within 3 months. They were getting more than 40 calls a month. They were getting more than 30. They wanted calls, but they didn't get calls. They got calls and appointments. Oh, look at that! The phone rang. And they got the phone rang, and then the people start signing up. People started paying, and they got more people clicking through. They got their traffic went from whatever it was 100 to 150 or whatever. It started growing. Holy cow! I mean, I've heard of people who can make money with paid search, can make paid search work, but I've never met anybody. It's like Santa Claus, right? You hear about Santa Claus, but you never see him. And the Easter Bunny, I've heard about him, but I never saw him. And I've heard about people who can make paid search work, but I never met none until these guys did it. And off they went. They actually performed it. They showed me their dashboard. I wouldn't show this to you if I didn't look at their dashboard. So paid search works. But there's always a but. There are advantages and disadvantages to paid. But before I get into the but, let's go back here and let me show you organic results. This is a client of mine who came, that's still very active, and she's a student. She took a previous version of the class that Sunil and I offered. At that time, it was just me yelling at her and the other people, and now it's me yelling at people and Sunil coaching them. So well, I think we're going to get even better results, but this is a case study that goes back to, we'll go all the way back to July of 2013. And look at it, we've still got about 3 months, almost the same, 3 months, $5,000. And this was a Facebook campaign, by the way, we can see that. This was $5,000 for 3 months, all right? Well, she didn't have $5,000. I think at the time I was charging $2,000 or something for a 16-week course. So she paid me $2,000, and I taught her how to do it instead. And so this is a grandma. She's an honest to goodness grandmother. Her husband's a retired cop. All they did was create content on the website. That's what I teach people how to do. So it's still a 3-month period. So they paid $2,000 to learn how, and then they didn't pay any money other than their time. But time equals money, of course. But after 3 or 4 months, they took off as well. Look at that. They took off as well. Look at that. And this happened to be the Christmas season, but because they wrote about their product, because they knew what people were asking them when they did it, they were able to go from, they'd never, ever, ever, ever sold anything online in their life. The product they sold, they put in the back of their van and schlepped it up and down the coast of California and marketed to farmers markets, right? And that sort of thing. So they were so tired. She came in as a better way, and so maybe she tried paid search. I don't know. So I just went about it organically, and we built. Here they had an average price product of the average price of their product was about $30. So they had $50 ones and $150 ones and $10 ones, that sort of thing. They sold like $5,000 worth right here, $5,000 worth at this Christmas period. And then and then you can see over the course of a year, this peak here is bigger than that one. So a year later, they were still getting that high peak traffic. Plus, they got a performance for the entire year, and then they kept on performing. Now look here, you see this period here. Compare that to this period. This is, we can see this is higher than that. So it's still performing for them. So organic works as well. We can pay to get people to show up, or we can build our website and put stuff on our content and get people to show up. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of to each? And before I forget, Sunil, if I forget, remember, I want to show them a case study of one of our active students. And I'm afraid I'll forget to do that. We have a class that started right now, and I want to show you some of the results of our active students. So generally speaking, and I've talked to these guys, and again, I wouldn't show you something that I wasn't able to see for myself. I'm just built funny that way. I get into their dashboard and look at this. They give me this much money, now they make that much money. And so I'm able to see that. He said, they say $5,000 for 3 months, but he told me sometimes they can get results quicker. Well, I'm not going to make a promise I can't keep, but sometimes it doesn't take 3 months to get their results. Now that's something I can't do. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I've had dozens and dozens of people in multiple different niches, and I can't do it quickly. There's this period called the sandbox right here, where you just kind of muddle along, work real hard, and hope the search engines eventually find you, which they eventually do, and there you go. And so that's incredible. That's powerful. In other words, if you got somebody who's smart enough to know what words work well enough for your service industry, they can do the research. There's lots of different ways you can read their research and strategy. And this is incredible. These guys are very transparent. Who gives this kind of transparency? Who tells people how they do things, right? But they're able to start generating sales almost not immediate, much quicker than I can. I just can't go that fast. I wish I could have. If I have a website that's been around for quite a while, and all it needs is to be revived, or to reinvigorate it, I might be able to get results relatively quickly, but I still can't do it, within as fast as these guys, a month or 2 months. I'm trying to think if I have a case where I did it and I come up blank. So if you want the phone to ring like next week, you're going to have to pay a lot of money, or $5,000 or whatever. You have to throw money at it. Now, the number one reason I've come across that paying people to come to your website, the number one reason why that doesn't work is because people don't pay enough money to make it work. In other words, they think if I can pay $1,000 a month and get that kind of results, but I only have $500, maybe I'll get half the results. It doesn't work that way. I wish the way, if I could pay $500 and make $1,000 next month, well, I would do that. I would do that forever. If I could pay $500 and make $1,000, who wouldn't do that? You need time, and you need to go all in. You need to there's a minimum investment that anything less than that is why bother. All you do is throw your $100 at Facebook or give your $200 coupon to Google or whatever. And so these guys have found a minimum starting point in order to start getting these results. So you can get results relatively quickly, comparatively quickly to I can do an organic. But here's a case where I could almost match them, time for time, and still see results. But that just doesn't happen all the time that way, especially when you're starting from zero. This case study here, these people actually had their website had history to it. They just weren't doing anything with it. So if a website has history, it's easier for me to do something than for a website that's starting from ground zero. But these guys can start from almost zilch and get somewhere. But not always. So by far the biggest advantage of paid search over organic search is I think you can get quicker results with paid than you can with organic. You still need people to know how to do it, and on both sides you need people who are smart, who know how to do the research, who know how to who to target when they get into Facebook and Google and the retargeting and all that sort of thing. On the organic side, you have to have some know-how. One of the things that we teach in our course is there are 220 parameters, 200 plus we'll go with, different parameters that go into an ideal page to be found organically. Well, I've learned that there are about 10 things I can do that'll give me 90% of the results I want. Well, if you don't know those 10, you're cooked. You're just kind of flailing away. And you would think, oh, that's easy to learn 10. Well, bless my heart, bless my students' hearts. We've been at it for a month or so, and they just have a hard time grasping them. They're not hard. They're just doing easy things consistently. So on these, in these regards, we're pretty much even. Now I want to get to, and I'm going to be slanted toward the organic side because that's my history. But one of the biggest problems with paid is, and I asked these guys, and he was very honest with me. He said, if you stop paying to be in front of people, the phone stops ringing. Well, in other words, if there's a banner on your highway where you're driving, you see that reminder every day. As soon as that reminder is gone, you're not reminded anymore. It's gone. So when you pay to be in front of people and you stop paying to be in front of people, you're not in front of them anymore. Whereas organic, even I stopped paying, and here's this case study again. Even they stopped producing content, and I know these guys. They told me they got so busy delivering their product here, they had to put it in a FedEx and send it away, or UPS and send it away. They never sold anything outside of the back of except the back of their van. And then they started sending orders all throughout the United States. They were getting orders overseas that they couldn't deliver because they weren't prepared. They were prepared over here, and so I lost my train of thought. They were so busy delivering product that they had no more time to update their website. But the content that they had produced here continues to perform. Look at that. Even they stopped. It continued to working. It continued to work for them. So you can't get those kind of results in paid. You stop paying, it drops to zero, unless you've created some loyal followers from the beginning. PayPal, by the way, PayPal The way they got started was I think, I don't remember the exact number, but they gave $10 or something like that to the first 100,000 people who used the service. Well, I can do the math. 1,000 times 10, they had $1 million. So they paid $1 million to get, to get 100,000 people to sign up. And as soon as 10,000 of that 100,000 people started using it, this is pretty nifty. And then it took off. Well, if you have $1 million to go buy customers, you don't need me. You just need to be smart on how to use that $1 million. So there's a very high profile example of how to pay people to follow you. Well, these guys didn't do it. They just created content. People came, but their content kept performing. Their content performed for an entire year. They never wrote anything, never did anything. And they got better results here than they got there. And they kept on working. It dropped a little bit, but it's kind of struggling along. But here it is in November. Here comes the Black Friday or whatever it's called. It's going to do better this year than it did the last 2 years. And all they did was create something back here that's organic, that's good content, that performed for them organic. So one of the problems I see with paid, when you stop, you stop. When I do organic, when I stop, it continues to work. When I'm in a paid campaign, I'm trying to push my content in front of people, and that works. But you're competing for 8 seconds of attention span, whereas on the organic search, it's a pull proposition. It's a pull proposition. People have come looking for you. They have searched and come upon you. So I don't have to fight for that 8 seconds. They gave me far more than 8 seconds to get there. When people come looking for you, they're better prospects. They're better clients. They perform better than people you went looking for. So when I'm paying, I'm looking for a platform where I can put myself in front of people. When I'm doing organic, I'm building a platform that people come looking for. They're different, right? So there's no mistake that pull will outperform paid. A pull will outperform pull by people being attracted to your website, coming to you looking for you, will outperform people you went out looking for. Think of how well it performs when you go out and knock on doors or go to network events and peddle your business cards. How'd that work for you? Whereas, somebody found you on LinkedIn. Hey, can we talk about something? When they found me, it works better than when I went looking for them. And so organic is to get found versus the pay, which is go find. Paid search, when I pay to put an advertisement up, I'm very limited in my copy, the number of words I can use. How many can I use? 25 characters, 16 characters, 25 words? I don't know. How much? It depends on the size of the ad, of course. But if you got a giant billboard, you put too many words on it, people can't read it. So you've got a limited amount of copy. You got a limited amount of what you can say. Whereas in organic search, I can write long and deep. I can solve problems. Right? That's really good. I can solve problems. Excuse me. I can write 200 words. I can write 2,000 words if I want to. I can put a bunch of 2,000 words together and turn them into a 20,000 word, 20-page ebook. I can put a bunch of ebooks together and turn them into a book. I can't do that with my online paid copy. Whatever I build on my website, I can keep. It belongs to me. Whatever I put in a paid result, after I stop paying, it's going to go away. Where'd it go? You can't even you can't go into the deep archives of Facebook and find something that you put up there before. It's kind of like a one and done. What's it last? 36 hours, 14 hours. It depends on how busy the feed is, that sort of thing. So that residual, that I always have that copy thing is really important. But all of that said, and I'm almost going to choke when I say this, but I can see that if I have somebody who's really smart, I can see the advantages of getting myself in front of people quickly, because we need the phone to ring. We need to make some money, right? We've got to make some money so I can make more money, right? So now the decision falls upon you. How much are you willing to invest in getting the phone to ring? You think, Bill, can I just spend $500? No, leave me alone. It won't work. You can't spend $500, make $1,000. It just doesn't work. You can't spend $500 a month for 3 months. That's $1,500 and expect to make $5,000. That won't work either. These guys are smart. They've been able to research. You get to a certain point. There's a minimum investment of why bother. The same with organic. There's a minimum investment of effort. or why bother? Now, if you're not going to get on there, I'm going to write an article a day for the rest of my life. Good luck with it. I actually have a friend from way back who he just completely ignores everything I say. I say, damn, what's up with that? He doesn't care what I say. He just does what he wants. And he writes these really long articles, one article a day. Okay, just do it, well, whatever. And he'll get 6,000, 7,000 people a day come to his website by ignoring everything I told him. Damn, you stop. You're proving me wrong. I'm embarrassed here. So he'll get 6,000, 8,000 people a day by writing these really long diatribes every day and only once a day. But it took him 9 years to get to 6,000 people a day. So if you've got 9 years to get to 6,000 people a day, you can ignore me and do whatever you want to, right? So what I know how to do is get people to come on a relatively quicker basis. So you're going to ask yourself this fundamental question: do I want to be found, or do I want to go find? Now, it comes down to, time or money or some combination. How much time do you have? If you've got the time, you can do the organic thing. If you've got enough money, you can do the paid thing. But I'm absolutely convinced there's a really good hybrid method here. There's a really good hybrid method but it depends on budget, of course. We can't do it for free. Nobody can do anything for free. Good luck with that. No, I'm not going to do it for you and get a commission on your product, because we don't know whether your product's any good or not. So don't offer to give me shares, because you're not going to get an IPO. The percentages of IPO square. Once a year, somebody in the valley gets an IPO. No, I'm not going to invest in your shares of your company to help you do this. Then you have to invest either your time or your money or some combination there in order to get the results that you want. So we just launched this class, Sunil and I did, in September. So I wanted this very early on, and I'm going to love showing off this story in a year or so from now if they stay with it. I want to show you the results of one of our students. We just started the class here in where'd it go? Oh, there it is. We had an all-day event in September. We're going to have another all-day event, or two-day event, all-day 2 days in September 18, 19, I think it was. We're going to do another all-day 2-day event in January to launch another class. We're going to do another to launch another class. So this is one of the students, and oh my goodness, he has a dashboard about inventory control or some sort of, okay, it's about inventory control. What he does, right? It's so esoteric. It's so, holy cow, okay. But he gets so excited when he talks about it. So I can compare this last month. So the course has been going on now for about 2 months. 19th, this is when the class finished. And now we go 1 month. I can compare this last month to this month to see whether he's getting any results or not. Now he's going great guns. He's working hard. We like it when people work hard. And he's 100% organic. He doesn't have, but look at that. See, the blue is what's going on now, and the last month, and orange is what's going on the month before. In the last month, he's had, let's go here. In the last month, he had 506 people come to his website. The month before that, only 340 people. That's a 50% increase in only 2 months. In only 2 months, it's a 50% increase month over month. If I go back before the campaign started, it's even smaller number. And then another almost 50% of people come and then they come back. So the same people come more than once. That's the session, right? And so people are coming, and then they're looking. Even the number of pages they're looking at is going up. The number of pages they're coming at, that they're looking at. And we want to go here and see where they're coming from. I can go to acquisition. I can go to traffic. I can go to source. Look at that. Here's something I failed to mention. Paid search is really, really tough in a B2B, business to business, whereas organic search will work for business to business. Paid search works exceptionally well for B2C, business to customer. Organic, we just took a look at how that works. I can go to source here. See, direct is when people have been able to find that, right? They've already come to, but look at this, organic, look at that. He's almost doubled the organic traffic. 2 months ago, 113 people came. Last month, 200 people came. Almost twice as many people came month over month. If he were to double that month over month, it would be 400 next month, 800, then 16, then 2400. I don't think it's going to. I wish it would. I don't think it'll double that much, but I don't know how big his market is. But just by creating good, solid content on his website, he's been able to get this kind of organic results. Now, here again, his website had a little bit of a history, but didn't have any traffic. So what I want to say is, or what I want to ask is, do you want to be found, or do you want to find? Right? Do you want people to find you? I mean, do you want to go find people to engage with, or do you want people to find you and engage with you, or do you want to find some hybrid method? Do you want the phone to ring in a couple of weeks, or do you want is it okay that the phone rings here in a few months? I concede that I can't get results as quickly as paid can, but I can get results longer. So it doesn't take a mental giant to figure out that a good hybrid method where we can get some, within 3 months, we can start getting our money back and start getting ahead while we build a long-term organic strategy might be the best way to go about it. But again, it just costs money to do that. And if you don't have the money, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So that's my story. And I'm super proud of this particular student. I mean, he's just going great guns. And English is not even his first language. Isn't that cool? And he hired somebody in his home country to do the work for him. It's like, oh, I can't write. Well, you don't have to be able to write like a whiz. You just have to be able to solve problems for people in your niche topic. But that's beyond the scope here. So paid versus organic. Well, of course, I'm going to lean toward organic. But I'm beginning to see I'm beginning to see what paid can do. And I'll have some more details. I have some more data in the coming months, and I'll be glad to share that with you. All right, Sunil, I'm giving it back to you.
Oh, okay. You're going to make me the host, but yeah. So as Bill said, actually, we got a couple of questions here, Bill.
Oh, questions. I like questions.
I got it by email. What do I have to do to start if I want to start doing more organic content? Yeah.
Well, if you want to start with organic, the first thing you got to do is get a website. So if you don't have a website, you can't do nothing. So go to HostGator or GoDaddy or somebody like that. Call me up. I'll tell you where the cheapest place, or email me or something. I'll tell you the cheapest place to get it. But you can buy it for $1.99. You can always buy stuff cheaper somewhere, but they always get you in the second year. So I'm going to try and I'll tell you where to go so you'll get in the second year. So buy a domain name, buy sunilbascaran.com because that's your name. And then buy hosting. Get the cheapest hosting you can get, right? $5 a month, $7 a month. And then install WordPress. WordPress, it's free. You do not need to pay for a website. I've got hard empirical data that you don't have to do that. I mean, I know people who spend $1,500 on their website and they say, look, Bill, I got a pretty website. And I'm thinking, how many people come to your pretty website? Well, nobody yet. And then you spent your money the wrong way. A domain name, cheap hosting, free WordPress, and then just start writing stuff. Don't worry about it. Just start writing stuff. That's where you start.
Great. Another question here, which I probably can take. Tell us about your 1-year program, the VIP. It's a VIP 1-year academy, and it's intended for small business owners and people who have a website and want to either get more engagement on the website or sell their services and products more efficiently and effectively. Then this is the program for you. It's a very affordable program, but the entry to the program is by doing a strategy session with us, which I'm going to talk about here very soon. But the 1-year program, there are 3 phases. Each phase is about 4 months. The first phase, we work with you to start building your content organically, set the foundations for it, get your website up. If you don't have a website, we'll work with you to do that, and get that going. Bill is an exceptional artist and scientist in terms of getting your Google Analytics going and getting a good dashboard in that. And so we start getting really good measures very quickly. And then that will guide us in helping you start your content creation. In parallel, we want to start creating a market strategy for you that makes sense so that when people come to your site, they're compelled. They like the wording on your site, they like the images, etc. They like the flow of your site, so it makes sense for them. And they're compelled to engage with you. If you have people come to your site and they walk away because you have nothing to offer, then you're wasting your precious time. So you got to have your marketing system and engine work for you as well on the site. So we help you design that. The second 4 months, we're building content again. We want to get you to at least about 800, 400, at least 400, between 400, 800 articles. Again, they're short articles, 250 words to 500 words, And that starts getting you noticed even more so. In that second 4 months, we also start planning for your last 4 months, where we do a marketing push or a launch customized to you, so you can really have a huge breakthrough in the year in terms of marketing. So that in a nutshell is what the 1 year program is. Everybody's different. Everybody is different. Every person we work with is different. They got a different set of circumstances. There are some similarities, obviously. A lot of differences that we want to work with you so you can customize this plan to you, to how it's going to work for you. The difference between us and a lot of other people who do marketing or marketing strategy is that we work with you almost on a daily basis. That's right, because the beauty is in the details of the implementation. Most people get stuck because there's so many distractions. There's so many decisions to make. What kind of, do I do Facebook, or do I do this? Do I do paid, or do I do organic? How much time do I spend on this? What kind of website should I have? What kind of email carrier should I have? Well, we help you get through all those questions fast, so you can actually start focusing on what you love to do, which may be interacting with the customers or building your strategy in other areas. So that's the program. Again, we said the gateway to joining that program is we want to check you out. You want to check us out too. You want to make sure you get all your questions answered. So we offer a 1 hour session. It's a one-time session that we offer, and there are very, very limited seats for this. I have to say, next week is completely filled, and the following week after Thanksgiving is filling up really fast as well. Getting quite a lot of people who are interested in working with us. So how you get this free strategy session, and there's no charge for this session, and there's no charge to apply, is you go to www.yourvipss.com, and you do an application right there. And it's a very simple application form, a couple of questions we ask. You fill it out rigorously, with answering questions on what kind of objectives you want to fulfill, how much money you want to make. And then we'll respond within the next 24 business hours, which will be by the end of Monday, to schedule a time if it makes sense. And if your answers make sense to us, we'll contact you and set up a time. The phone session itself is about an hour. What we look at is, what is the gap that you have? Where do you want to be? And where do you want to be? And where are you right now? And what are the challenges there that will stop you or not get you there or slow you down? And we look to getting you past those challenges and have at least a rough draft 1 year plan. Like what you need to do every 3 months or 1 month from where you're at right now to where you want to be. So we start this program in January 25th. We already have a couple of people who want to do the program. We're limiting it to 25 people maximum. We're not going to take more than 25. We might even cut it off at 20, depending on the quality or the kinds of clientele that we're getting, the kind of attention we may have to spend. So the sooner you get on our strategy session, the less likely you'll have disappointment next year in terms of getting on our program. And then we'll tell you everything about the program in terms of pricing, etc., if it makes sense to you, and if it makes sense for us to invite you to join the program. And we do payments, etc., so it's very flexible. It is a 1 year program. It's a very rare program. You're not going to find anything like this for the cost and for the qualifications of the two people who are leading it. So we invite you to really get on the strategy session quickly. Again, like I said, I keep getting this question. Some people are still emailing me about it. The form, you can get the form or fill out the form at yourvipss.com. And again, there's no charge for the session. It's 1 hour over the phone, and there's no charge to apply. So again, it's yourvipss.com. Make sure you get there very quickly to get your spot. Again, for those of you who are on the phone, because I keep getting this question asked of me, www.yourvipss.com. That's s.com. So yourvipss.com. All right. The next webinar next week is Thanksgiving here in the United States. So we won't be doing a Friday webinar, but we will be doing a Monday webinar, and that's at 4 p.m. Pacific. And I'll start announcing that as well if you're on our email list, which you should be if you're on this webinar. And if you came from a meetup, you'll get the announcement for that as well. That's pretty much it. So don't see any other questions coming in. Anything else for you, Bill? All right. So again, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to spending more time with you in the next 1 year. To get that 1 year program, make sure you get on yourvipss.com. We look forward to seeing you on our strategy session, and we'll take it from there. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.